everyone, Darth Vegan here. On the night of the 5th of November, 2024. Election night in the United States of America. Donald Trump versus Kamala Harris. And it's, yeah, so... yes. Gonna be enjoying some extra flaming hot Doritos. And a 4-pack of Monster, but I've already had one while I was watching Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. Because Palpatine is basically Trump. But yeah. Anyway. How I said, it will be just over an hour before first results. Parts of Indiana and Kentucky, if I'm not mistaken, but they will close statewide an hour later, along with Georgia and Vermont and that. Righty then, so we have a few votes counted out of Indiana and Kentucky. Obviously, big Trump lead in both states is what you expect, but both states will be called at midnight in the UK and 7 o'clock on the east coast of the United States. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and...
It is 7 p.m. here in Washington, midnight in London, and we are off to the races. We have our first poll closures of the night. Now, polls have closed in 6 states, including that all-important swing state of Georgia we were just talking about. Now, voting has also ended in Indiana, Kentucky, South Carolina, Vermont, and Virginia. As you can see here, together, these states make up 60 electoral votes. A presidential candidate needs 270 votes to win the White House. Now, results for these states will be coming in throughout the night, and in some cases, over the next couple of days, for Donald Trump. Again, the state of Kentucky projected for Donald Trump.
Kentucky Trump. All right.
This is the very first
Vermont, Harris.
Now we can also bring you the state of Vermont projected Kamala Harris with
Safest Democrat state.
The letters on both sides for the Harris team, for the Trump team, now starting to take
Because the District of Columbia is not actually a state.
That's what they need to win. Now with
No real surprise, but Indiana has actually been called for Donald Trump. So, yes, 7:15 EST, 12:15 GMT. Harris is marginally ahead in Georgia. A few votes have been dropped there. But, yeah, Florida's going really quickly. But Trump is quite significantly ahead. Well then, Trump might actually win Miami-Dade this time. I know he ran it quite close last election, but he could actually win it this time. 70% call counted, and he's 10 points ahead of Harris, so who knows.
West Virginia, you can see here together, these states make up 37 electoral votes.
West Virginia, safe Republican. Ohio, lead Republican. North Carolina, toss up.
Look at what we can say so far about these states that have closed. None of them can be projected just yet, but we do know at this point that the polls have closed. So
yes.
This is a key Midwestern state with 17 electoral votes.
I get it.
It is now reliably Republican. It is too early to project.
Really?
Virginia also with 4 electoral votes. Another red state, Republican state, too early to project. And North Carolina.
Okay then. Oh, there we go. Yeah, there we go. There aren't a lot of votes out of North Carolina so far, but Kamala's in the lead. Yeah, just saying there's been a flip in the Senate for West Virginia, which is the most obvious flip. I mean, yeah, Joe Manchin's standing down this year, so I don't think he's even a Democrat anymore. But yeah.
Poll closures that we'll see tonight. In
Mm-hmm.
addition to Pennsylvania, voting has also just ended in Alabama, in Connecticut, in Delaware, in Florida, in Illinois, in Maine and Maryland, in Massachusetts, in Mississippi and Missouri, in New Hampshire and New Jersey, Oklahoma, Rhode Island, Tennessee, and here in Washington, D.C. Now, together, all of these make up 171 electoral votes, so a lot up for grabs. A presidential candidate
Okay.
banking on that. It's a heavily reliable
Biggest Florida
that Alabama
has
win
Alabama now.
the 9 electoral votes. Just means that we
All
have
right, so
can't make any predictions.
and
The votes
of
are
course
just being
Pennsylvania as
entered,
well.
polls
So this
now
is how it's looking
Well, let's go to that all-important state of
so
Pennsylvania.
far
Tom Bateman
in
is
terms
there
of
for us. Tom, what's been
Democrat
looking like in
27,
Pennsylvania?
Republican
How has voting
90.
been going through the
A third of that is from the state of Florida.
Yeah, hi Katrina, and welcome to McGillen's Old Ale House.
They went really early this time around. Just a really safe Republican state, apparently. Or just really likely. A bunch of states that are too early. Bunch of reliably, well, especially reliably Democrat states, with Mississippi being a reliably Republican state, but they're all just too early. Well, yeah, Texas will be an interesting one to watch, kinda. It's not one of the 7 critical swing states, but it's I consider it kind of a secondary, kind of thing. However, Georgia is a critical swing state, and 44% of the votes are already in. It's fascinating to watch. The North Carolina governor is now a Democrat. From Mark Robinson is a Republican.
It's firmly pro-Trump. We've spoken to a lot of Latino voters, and I think there's a couple of factors in.
And now South Carolina has been called for Trump. Okay, so Arkansas just closed, and apparently it's too early, which is a bit mad.
Wisconsin, Arizona, voting has now been extended at 10 locations
All right.
for 2 hours. An emergency court there granted the extension after there were glitches at those locations earlier in the day. So that will obviously add to the time there. Voting has also just ended in Colorado, Iowa, Kansas, Louisiana, Minnesota, Nebraska, New Mexico, New York, North Dakota, South Dakota, Texas, and Wyoming. That is a lot of states. So together, these states make up 163 electoral votes. Again, a presidential candidate. Republican states.
Wow. Well, the BBC just called Texas for Trump.
While Kamala Harris's number is still smaller. Well, we're going to see some polls closing later on the West Coast.
Oh, so North Carolina, whatever.
We'll bring in a bunch of electoral votes for her. So we're going to see that even out a little bit more as we get closer.
No, it doesn't really mean a lot, but Delaware was called for Harris. Louisiana was just called on the it was just called for Trump. So BBC just called Rhode Island. This was looking unsettlingly close, shall I say. Yeah.
Now, New York rejected for Kamala Harris with its 28 electoral votes. We know New York is
yes, safe state, but it's a big one.
Democrats stay reliably.
So Reuters has just called Illinois, not Indiana, sorry, Illinois for Kamala Harris. Fairly sizable state. Alright, here it is then.
It's 10 p.m. here here in Washington, 3 a.m. in London, and the polls have now closed in Montana, in Utah, and in that critical swing state of Nevada. All of these states together make up 16 electoral votes up for grabs at this time.
And they can now also drop the votes in. They can start counting in Arizona.
As I say, Nevada polls have just closed in this area. That's one of the 7 swing states that we've been watching. Democrats have actually won that in the past 2 cycles. Joe Biden won it and Hillary Clinton won it. It was the only one of these 7 states that Donald Trump didn't win, in fact.
Mississippi has finally declared for Trump. Colorado just declared for Harris.
Talk to us a little bit about projections for Ohio. Let's see how that goes. There you go. Ohio projected as a win for Donald Trump. 17 electoral votes in Ohio. And as we've just been discussing, that, of course, is the state that J.D. Vance, the vice presidential running mate for Donald Trump, is the current senator for. So let's see what goes.
So much for Ann Seltzer's reputation with that poll that had Harris up 3%. As Iowa has just been declared for Donald Trump. And Kansas as well. Here we go, West Coast.
Alright, it is 11 p.m. here in Washington, 4 a.m. in London. Another big moment for you. Polls just closing in the states of California, Idaho, Oregon, and Washington. And together, these states make up 78 electoral votes. Another reminder for you, that magic number is 270 votes to win the White House. Now, these are, of course, some of the West Coast states that the Democrats have been waiting to see come in. And we are still waiting for those 7 key battleground states. We don't have projections for those yet. Vote can't.
Here we go. West Coast, including the largest state, California.
For updates, there are some of those counties come in, and the vote tally takes up the percentage of the vote that's come in. But it's been a big night across the board already as we're waiting to see how those swing states shake out. We've seen the reliably Republican or reliably Democrat states come in, but we can now bring you some projections from those polls that have just closed. And here is the first one that we have for you. California projected for Kamala Harris, 54 electoral votes. Kamala Harris is from San Francisco, of course. She was a senator there, attorney general. And
there are no surprises here.
Projected for Donald Trump, 4 electoral votes now added to his tally. So that brings his tally up a little further. Let's look at where that leaves us now. So that big chunk.
Okay, so Door County, which is basically Wisconsin, is basically the bellwether of Wisconsin, is saying that is almost all the votes counted, and Harris is marginally ahead. Okay, Washington's been called. Cool.
West Coast state that's heavily Democratic. Democrats held on to Pennsylvania.
Wait.
Yes, I definitely think we're in that atmosphere, and the person who has kind of broken those numbers has been Donald Trump in 2016. If you get back to the fundamentals of this race, there's only been one vice president of the United States to immediately succeed their boss in the last 9 years of American history, and it was George.
Nebraska's now being called for Trump.
Okay, well, let's just talk about North Carolina at the moment, because that is the one that we have projected there.
Though with the
just pointing out those western counties held up for Donald Trump. And so
split electoral votes. I don't know.
Again and see what impact those 4 votes have had on that race to 270. So that's
quick look at the Senate, Republicans hold Texas, and gain Ohio. Wonderful. Oh yeah, we finally get a call in Virginia for Harris. Okay, Erie County has gone to Trump. A bellwether for the state of Pennsylvania. Yay. Oh. fucking fantastic.
That is still open to her.
Well, it
Just
certainly is
fabulous.
decision makers.
Georgia
Just
flips
like
to
Georgia and
Donald
North
Trump.
Carolina, you see the trend.
Good education.
Alright, so there goes
I think sometimes Democrats have a hard time
New Mexico for
motivates
Kamala Harris.
Rodney, just quickly, you're shaking your head there.
Border different times. Just explain.
Alright, I just kind of
Exactly.
lost my
There's
shit a little
different
bit,
sort
but
of, groupings.
anyway, apparently Connecticut has finally declared. Oh, New Jersey's a bloody swing state, brilliant. Oh, holy shit! I can't believe that Las Vegas is actually Republican. And actually, what? That? Oh my god. No, Pennsylvania. Right, Roy is just called Pennsylvania for Trump. It's no, I want to go and cry. Or maybe I'll throw a massive fit. No, I've already thrown a massive fit, but... Alright, so, no, Las Vegas is back in the Harris column. They found some more votes from there. Yeah, I'm really not okay right now. Well, Tim Walz's home state of Minnesota has been declared for the Democrats. Not that that really matters at this point, but yeah. And as I say that, New Jersey also finally gets declared for Harris. So, indeed, a call out of the state of Wisconsin has actually put Donald Trump above the total needed. 279. Above 270 necessary to become president. So if you enjoyed this, maybe think about subscribing. As always, thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.